Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a 2022 Hyundai Santa Fe in the SEL package. First and foremost, so a huge shout out and thank you to Southtown Hyundai here in Utah for giving me some time with the Santa Fe. Check out the inventory link below. Let's get right into the video. So under the hood of the Santa Fe, we have a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 22 around town and then 25 on the highway, with power outputs being 191 horsepower and then 181 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Santa Fe. So first off, if we take a closer look, we've got these really nice body lines, especially that one right there towards the center on either side. Kind of gives it a really nice like raised muscular look there in the center, and then you can see the line off to the side that comes down here that kind of edges out with part of the accent lighting here for the Santa Fe. Notice that we do have LED lights. They are reflector lights. It's kind of hard to see because it's daytime, but they're actually really bright at night. And then notice that little venting right there. It looks like doesn't go to much, but still a nice little piece. And then you guys can see here the design on the grille, definitely unique, definitely crazy in normal Hyundai fashion. And then just down below, you guys can see that kind of continues here, a little bit different obviously material use wise, but then the design's somewhat similar, but then kind of like shrunk down in a way. But overall, the front end definitely looks unique, and yeah, that's all for that. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 35mm tires wrapped around 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And you guys will notice the design here on the wheels is pretty crazy here. You've got the dark gray metallic like inserts there on the center portion, and then obviously the silver there on the outside. And overall, it's an interesting design is what I'd have to say. And then here's what you guys can kind of see here with the front suspension. Then you guys can see the tires there as well. Now notice we've got the plastic molding here on the bottom, and then it continues to the fender flare itself. And then I like this body line here. That looks pretty good. And then the plastic molding continues all the way along the side, but notice to kind of break things up a little bit with the silver accenting. We do have the two-tone mirrors, so we've got the white on the top, black on the bottom. Notice more chrome accenting around the windows, and then also on the door handles, those are also two-tone as well. And then this one does have the crossbars, all that fun stuff there at the top. Definitely gives it that like sporty SUV look whenever you have those crossbars. But other than that, there's kind of your full side profile, and you guys will notice again, that line right there looks good, and then across the side, and then just down below, all that looks pretty cool. So normally this is where I show you guys the key fob, but it is in this envelope, so no key fob, but we do have a power operable hatch, so we will pop that open. Now here is the rear hatch area. First off, you guys will notice that we have the cargo cover here in the back, and then this does come with the Harman Kardon sound system, which by the way sounds fantastic. It's like the perfect amount of speakers for the size of SUV this is. Over here we've got some more cool stuff. So you've got those buttons that throw down the second row. They don't raise them back up, they just throw them down, and then a 12-volt. And then we've got all of our floor mats over here, and then of course we've got the secret cubby, all that fun stuff. But yeah, other than that, that's all that. And you guys are probably wondering, underneath, you guys can see that's where the spare tire lives its life. So sometimes they'll be in there, sometimes they're underneath. In the case of Santa Fe, it's underneath. So yeah, and let's close her up. Wait for it. There you go. Now let's finish things up here in the rear. Notice that the body line right here actually flows into the taillight, which is pretty cool. And then notice here with the taillight design itself, just how good that looks. And then you guys can see you've got the H-Track badge, Santa Fe badge, all that fun stuff. Notice it actually is kind of like a little light bar here in the back. Some people love them, some people hate them. I think light bars always look pretty cool. Now notice we've got the exhaust tip here at the bottom. They just have a single exit exhaust. They didn't do dual exhaust or anything like that. And then notice we have the reflector here at the very bottom. And other than that, that's kind of your full rear view. So here's the door panel in the back. Notice first off, we've got this nice sunshade here for the rear passengers. And then we've got nice soft touch leather down below with the stitching that goes across. And then notice even the window control actually feels pretty nice from a material standpoint. And then here are the seats in the back. So we've got covers on the headrest, but perforated leather. And then also you have some two-tone design here because it's darker here on the sides. But yeah, really nice stuff. And we will pop in and yeah, I don't know why I'm wearing shoes with socks like that, but you know what? It is what it is. Notice you got some vents right there. Got a couple of USBs down below. So yeah, about 6 foot, almost touched the top, but I still have a little bit of headroom, so you can fit relatively, you know, tall people back here. Got some cup holders, and notice that you have seat storage there, but not in the other seat. And then one last thing I want to mention, look at the speaker here in the back for the Harman Kardon sound system. This is what I love about Hyundai, is they go crazy with the design on everything, speakers included, and that is just so cool. Let's head to the front. So here's the door panel at the front. Notice first off, we've got this nice accent piece right there at the top that kind of goes all around, and then more soft touch down below. Again, all of your regular stuff with your window controls, door lock and unlock, mirror adjustments here on the side. You guys can see the door handle, and then again, crazy design there with the speaker itself. And then here is the seat at the front. So again, you've got the leather seat there with the perforated leather down below, and then you've got the nice blacked out leather there on the side, adjustments there on the side of the seat. And then you guys can see the pedals, and then notice Santa Fe right there. And then notice here, we've got that to unlatch the hood. We've got our parking brake just up above. Lane keep assist, this is for the rear hatch stability control. The steering wheel is manually operable if you guys were wondering. And there's our look before you pop in. First off, here is the steering wheel in the Santa Fe. You've got nice leather all around the steering wheel with the darker stitching there in the center portion. And then notice here on the steering wheel, we have our steering assist with our adaptive cruise control. Really nice system. I've used it in other Hyundais in the past, and the car basically drives itself on the interstate. It's pretty cool stuff. And then pages button. Notice got the paddle shifters there on the back. Voice command, volume controls, phone controls, all that fun stuff. Got your turn signal / light stock. Windshield wiper stock on the other side, and that's all for the steering wheel area. Now here's for the center gauge cluster. Notice we have the attention level pulled up, but you have a couple different menus you can scroll through. So like you can see fuel economy, for example, tire pressure, you know, just normal vehicle stuff. And then there's some menus within the menus themselves. So it's like menus on top of menus on top of menus. But anyways, other than that, we do have some different drive modes. So we've got our smart that we can scroll into. We were in comfort. That doesn't change anything, but when you go into our sport mode, we've got the digital gauge cluster that comes into play, so it actually changes. And then you've got your snow mode, which goes back to normal. So you're pretty much this like white gauge in every single drive mode, except for sport. If you're in the sport mode, then it actually changes what the gauge cluster itself looks like, which is pretty cool. And then I like how it has that kind of like real-time reading just down there at the bottom. And notice we are so empty, we have ... for the miles of range. So first off, this is very nice because it's like, hey, do you want to know where the nearest gas station is? If you guys are wondering, it's like literally right over there on the corner. But at least it shows you that on the infotainment system. But anyways, let's actually pop it into reverse so you guys can see the backup camera right here. It's got trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel itself. Resolution on the camera is really good. Now if I go from reverse to drive, notice that the camera stays on for just a moment. I'll kind of roll forward just a little bit right here. So you guys can see the camera will stay on for just a moment. You lose the trajectory lines, but at least it does that. I think that's a pretty neat little feature. And then if I pop it into park, the infotainment system pops right on. You guys can see we've got the navigation screen, responds really good. And notice how it tells us like how far we are from our location. So I think that's pretty cool. Now if we press the home screen button, we go to, well, the home screen. We've got a quiet mode. You do have passenger talk, so you can do that if you want. And that just basically plays you through the audio system via a microphone, and then it's easier to talk to your passengers. But I mean, this isn't a terribly big vehicle, so it's kind of interesting that it has it. And then notice we do have the sounds of nature, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of. But overall response time on the screen is great. It does look like it's plopped on to the dash a little bit, but I honestly don't mind that look. I think that it's kind of like normal in the car industry nowadays. And other than that, that's the infotainment system. So first off, notice we've got one of the speakers for the Harman Kardon sound system right up there. I like this trim piece right up here because it's just random. It's just kind of like, they just put it there because like there's that same material used over there, and they're like, oh, we got to have it here just to like, keep things up. I think that's funny. And then it's over here to the side, and notice how it connects to the door panel. I just think nice attention to detail, but I think it's funny they have it there. And then notice we've got, again, stitching, soft touch all over the dash itself, and then some extra storage space right there. I've always loved the hazard light button, how it's just like right there in the center, and then it also beeps when you have the hazard lights on. I think that is just awesome. We've got our radio controls here. dual zone climate controls for this package, the gear selector, and then notice that same material that you saw on the dash area down here. This is where your drive mode select is at, and then you do have a locker, which, I mean, anyone who buys this will probably never take it off-road, but at least it has that capability. Auto stops are an auto hold right here, and then the hill descent control, and then that's just for the camera, so you guys can see I can press that, and then it just pops the camera on. So kind of like a nice little shortcut button. No cooled seats, but we do have heated seats for the front. And then this is just a cover for this area. It's kind of like your phone charging area is the best way to put it. It is a cup holder. I'm using it as a key holder right now, but it's got a USB in that little area. And then you guys can see wireless phone charger. If you're wondering, it's right next to it. So you just slip your phone and this little tray kind of like eats it, basically. And then we got another cup holder here. And then you guys can see here for the center console, storage space in there. Nice soft touch, like everything here you can see there's a bunch of stitching. And then we've got the secret storage space here because you've got 12 volts down there, and then it's kind of hard to see, but on the other side there is a USB. But yeah, storage space down there is actually pretty solid. And then coming over to the glove box, it's a pretty normal glove box, nothing crazy happening. And then notice that even down here, the soft touch kind of continues across that area. So I think they did a good job from a design standpoint. So we've got the rear view mirror, and then we do have the full panoramic sunroof. You just press this to pop that bad boy open. And notice that it's all automated. So like if you press it really hard, basically, and I'm not saying like hard enough to break it, it'll just like all go back. And then same thing, so like you fully pull down with your finger, and just the easiest way to do this is just hold for a second, and then it'll all like automatically go back. But if you touch it a little bit lighter, I'll show you guys. Sometimes it'll do like the full automated, but sometimes it'll kind of like stop. But you can also press the button to stop it too. So like I can do this, and then that'll stop it as well. So that's the sunroof. So last but not least, we have the window sticker here for this 2022 Santa Fe. And you guys can see all the standard equipment that this comes with, including the warranty information. Still have that 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty, which is some pretty crazy stuff. But you guys can see all the other standard equipment that comes with this package on the Santa Fe. Now we do have some optional equipment added to this particular one. So we've got the convenience package here, also the paint color. You guys probably saw a little bit on the camera. It's got this nice metallic flake, especially up there in the sunlight. You can see that. $400 paint job, which is not crazy expensive for most vehicles. And then we have the premium package as well, which gives us stuff like the sunroof, LED lights, all that fun stuff. But you guys can see the total MSRP right there, $39,035. And wait for it. I totally almost walked into that pole, by the way. There's the Santa Fe. Now that's going to sum things up for our video on this 2022 Hyundai Santa Fe SEL. Again, a huge shout out and thank you to Hyundai of Southtown for giving me some time with the Santa Fe. Check out the inventory link below. I'll see all of you in the next video.